Hi, I'm Ingrid Wells, and I joined the CareerPlace as a member about 10 months ago. I'm now the Director of Cause Marketing at the Alzheimer's Association. I had been working as Director of Marketing at a nonprofit for about 3 years, and I made a decision that it was time for me to move on to my next opportunity. My job search was 7 months.
I'm Scott Peterson, and I have been a client of CareerPlace since December 2012. I now work for Chicago Board Options Exchange in Chicago. I was out of work since June of last year and secured a position starting May 20th of this year.
My name is Salma Schoenberg, and I joined CareerPlace at the end of November of 2012. That's when I had my initial intake session with Mickey. I landed my position in early March of 2013.
I knew I was leaving in a difficult economy, and there were a lot of people looking for a job. And I also had a daughter that was about to go to college. I was reading a lot of books and articles and so forth, but I knew I needed some expert guidance.
You know, I felt like I could skin the employment cat alone. And I hadn't been able to do it, and I was working at it for months, literally months.
I had a friend when I left my company that he reached out to me, and he said the last time that he was in transition, he had worked with CareerPlace. I had never done anything like this. I just felt that I needed a support system, and I didn't want to go through this alone.
CareerPlace gives people the skills to get their next job. It walks them through their resume, it walks them through interviewing, it walks them through salary negotiation and networking and social media.
CareerPlace is a unique facility resource that's just not available in any other location in Northwest Chicago. I know people who are coming from Downers Grove and as far away as Woodstock, because this is such a great group of people and great facility.
More importantly, not only does it give you the tools that you need to be able to do job search effectively, but I think when you're in the position that I was in and many others were in, I think it just helps rebuild your confidence too.
I was surrounded by professionals that were in the same shoes as I was in, and we were able to compare notes and share tips.
If you are uncomfortable with being unemployed, you're among your peers here. You're among a supportive group, and you're among a knowledgeable group who can help you make connections and overcome some of the barriers of being uncomfortable with that.
And it's all about helping each other. So it's not about others always helping you and you kind of taking. It's important to always give back and reciprocate, you know, whether it's giving someone a lead or whether it's giving somebody an idea of how they can change their resume.
I agreed to help raise money. You know, I happen to have a particular responsibility, and I'm still connected.
I learned one of the coaches was no longer going to be teaching the social media class, so I immediately volunteered to teach that class because it's an area that I have knowledge in, and so I wanted to get involved with the organization on a different level.
There are lots of skills to be gained, and you can read them out of a book, but it's not like having somebody help you personally and meet with you and answer your questions. It's just not the same.
When I first met with my coach, I was considering possibly changing my career direction to a certain extent.
I didn't really have a coach, but to be fair, I think Chris ended up being my coach, because I'd be here a few times a week, and for some reason I go bug him all the time and just sit in his office and talk, and he just ended up kind of, you know, just informally helping me out. And but Jim did help me out quite a bit with the interviewing and the elevator speech and just kind of helping me rebuild my confidence.
I think he was, you know, very candid, and that's one of the aspects I think that you miss when you're working alone. You can deceive yourself. So and to a certain extent too, he was a bit of a taskmaster. He assigned responsibilities to me, which I tried to meet and do a good job with.
She knew exactly where I was coming from. She was a great person to guide me and make sure I had a plan. It helped me really crystallize my direction.
Oh, I believe it was a simple question of tell me a little bit about yourself. I think that's all it was. And I was focusing more on, I did this and I did that, and these are some of the things, hobbies that I do for fun. And I think I was just making it very, I don't know what the right word is, but just very vanilla, for lack of a better word. And I think I was afraid to talk more about my background and my past because of what's been in the news, for the last 10 years. So I'm originally from Afghanistan, and I don't like talking about that as much because I don't know how open-minded people are, and it's been in the news a lot. So I think that's where Chris and Jim helped me kind of zero in on that and say, no, that's nothing, there's nothing wrong about that, and it's not bad to talk about. And so that's essentially what we talked about. And I think Chris helped frame that in a unique way by kind of saying like, hey, this is where I'm from. I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 7 years old. I didn't speak English. I had to learn English. I went into the 2nd grade, and over the course of my life here and my family's life here in the States, we've had to overcome a lot of obstacles. So kind of putting that, that personal element around my story and tell me about yourself, I think was unique, it was special, and I think people kind of remember me. And I believe I did that in the interview as well, in these interviews that I had for this position. And I remember telling Chris this, and the CEO that I was interviewing for this position actually cried. So I think it was, because I think he was just very touched by the story that I, came from Afghanistan, and we had a lot there. We lost everything, and my dad had to kind of rebuild our lives here, and we had to rebuild our lives here. And then, I've just been fortunate that I'm, pretty educated, and I've, always had really professional positions within companies, and I've just studied really hard and worked really hard, and it's paid off for sure.
These coaches are not just anybody who walks in here and offers to volunteer their time. They're screened for their ability to do what coaches do, which is to know about the hiring process and know about what skills are important and know how to give support to people who are, going through the process.
The program's not expensive. It's very affordable, even for someone without a job, as I was. Membership is something that anyone can afford, and even people that are really struggling because they've been out of work for a while can get scholarships through the CareerPlace, so it really makes it available to everyone.
For the amount of value that I got out of my experience and the relationship that I forged with a lot of people here, it was invaluable.
It's an extraordinary bargain for the users, and they need that. They can't afford a huge price tag. So the donor is filling that gap and making it possible.
So the more funding that can come in, the more people that can be helped and be successful in their career search and in their career.
It's a very worthwhile investment. And the reason for that is because I don't believe there are a lot of organizations out there like CareerPlace. I think CareerPlace is unique. It's an extremely competitive job market for a lot of professionals that are very talented and have a great deal of experience. And you don't really understand that until you're in that process yourself.
Without a job, life is awful hard. But with a job, everything else falls into place. It's just a great opportunity to do a small thing to help people in a big way.
I see CareerPlace as expanding and offering more classes and having so many more professionals come and seek their services, because it's just such a great place. People come from far away to participate in this program because it's so excellent, and it surpasses the other programs out there. From everyone that I've talked to that's gone to other programs and switched over to CareerPlace, it's that good.